Welcome, friends, to Dog Grooming Unleashed. We are Amy Leigh and Michelle Caluneo. Our mission is to create a safe, welcoming space for dog groomers and pet lovers to come together to learn, laugh, and feel supported. So join us as we build a community where pet parents and groomers can come together. We also want to help groomers grow in their skills, share their struggles, and feel connected to others in the industry. So get ready to learn and laugh. We're so excited to have you here.
And you have to think of this if you see a nervous dog. You have to automatically think, what is my plan if he chooses to do this? Because I don't want a situation and not be able to handle it. I want to know what I'm going to do if it happens. How am I going to quickly release him off that table?
When I had one in my shop and my son came in, he had never seen one before. And he's like, what is this dog? And I'm like, I know, isn't it cute? It's Keeshonds. He's like, I need one of these. Like, he was just so excited.
They're beautiful. Welcome to episode 2. This is season 3. Hey, we're moving right along, aren't we, Michelle?
We're just cruising along here.
Cruising along, humping it out.
We're humping it out.
Today's episode is really cool.
Yes.
This is the honest episode. Breeds that we love and breeds we struggle with. Sometimes we love breeds and struggle with them at the same time, but we're like, that's one of my favorite breeds. How is that? We're going to talk
Not
about
every breed is easy. It doesn't mean we don't love them. Today, we're going to talk about breeds we adore and the ones that keep us humble. Every dog is lovable. Some breeds are simply more work or harder to work on.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Yes.
I'd like to start our conversation, Michelle, off with what we think makes a dog enjoyable to work with. Let's start it out on a positive note.
We're going to be all positive. I'm just going to
We try to be more positive than negative. So before we get to the negative, let's start with the positive. What makes a dog enjoyable to work with? For you, Michelle, what is that? What does it look like?
A calm dog.
Yeah.
I love me a calm dog. So, or when they come in excited and they're little crazy nutbags and you think they're going to be like insane, and then they get on your table and the moment they get there, they know exactly what we're doing and they're calm. Like, those are wonderful.
It's so impressive.
Yes.
We tell them that too. I do.
Yeah.
I'm always telling the dog, you are amazing.
Yes.
Look at you. You're amazing. You should teach all the other dogs.
Yes. Or a well-trained dog.
Yeah, that's impressive. And it's enjoyable to work with. Also, you kind of said this before, but boy, does this make my day. The dogs that can't wait to see me. When they come in, they're looking for me. Where's Amy? That makes my day. Thank you, dogs.
Yeah, if they could talk, they'd be like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another thing that makes a dog enjoyable for me is, say, a lot of those large breeds that, the groom is a lot of work for them.
Yeah.
And they work so hard to work for us.
Yes.
I will stand still, Amy. I will hold my weight for an hour for you, Amy. I will not shake all the soap off in the bathtub, Amy. It's the ones that are so big and have the option to destroy the grooming session any second, and they choose not to.
Or like you rub your arm down their leg and they just pick it up.
Yes.
And they know you're going to shave the pads of their feet. They know you're going to trim their nails, and they're just like, here you go. Let me help you. And then only resist if maybe they're just unbalanced. Like, so if they're resisting.
Yeah, they're having trouble standing. Yeah.
Readjust them. Yeah. It's not that they're just being difficult. It's that, they just really they
can't.
Position. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think also enjoyable makes a dog enjoyable to work with. This could be any breed, is often the coat type. I tend to really love those wiry type coats. To me, they're wispy, they're natural. It pleases me to work with that coat type. So if you ask me specifically what makes a dog enjoyable to work with, sometimes it's what their coat type is. I also love a scissor coat.
Yeah.
So
like an Irish Wolfhound. I really like Irish Wolfhounds.
That wiry, kind of harsh
breed. Yeah, they're big, but they tend to be a more calm breed. And even though they're gigundous, they have a cool wiry coat, so it's not too hard to maintain. You can strip it a little bit if you want. You can trim a little bit around their eyes if you want.
A lot of blending shear work, make it look real natural and pretty.
Yep. You don't need to do a whole lot. And they're just the ones I've encountered, which are a lot, they've all been really lovely. Just a good, nice breed. I tend to want to lean towards for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and they like to lean on me, so I want to lean on them.
And that could be a little bit too the breed itself. Like you're like, I
Yeah.
love the coat type, and I actually have found that across the board, I love working with Irish Wolfhounds.
Yes.
Personality. That
Even though they're so huge,
yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
But go against like that where I'm a huge Great Dane fan, but I will
Hmm.
tell you when someone calls me for a Great Dane, I'm like, oh, because they tend to sit and use their weight. They're a little more nervous. I feel like
Yeah,
typically they're really into like their parents. I feel like they're very like,
yeah,
they want to be with their family. They want to, so they will like you and stuff, but and that was probably on my list of the ones that are tough are these powerful big breeds that are nervous. That's
yeah,
a tough it's a tough dog to groom. Not that we don't love them. I'm so drawn
yeah.
to them when I go to the dog shows and stuff. I want to take their pictures and meet them and learn all about them. But in the grooming salon, definitely a little bit harder for sure.
Yeah, like you said, the larger breeds that are nervous, that's an unpredictable situation waiting to happen. And that's always in the back of the groomer's mind.
Yes.
When you see nervousness and you see size and strength with a
Mhm.
dog, you're wondering because we always got to be like, what's the exit plan if this happens? What do we do? What's
Right.
the game plan if this happens? What if he decides to lunge off the table? I can't hold him. I got to be prepared to quick and release them off the table. And you
Yeah.
have to think of this if you see a nervous dog. You have to automatically think, what is my plan if he chooses to do this? Because I don't want a situation and not be able to handle it. I want to know what I'm going to do if it happens. How am I going to quick
Right.
release him off that table so he doesn't get hurt or really worked up is another problem. They'll get really worked up if they go to get off the table and they can't and then they're freaking out. It's
They'll
not
knock your table
entertaining.
right over too, and that can make a situation dangerous real
You
fast.
smack it right on their tail. They could break their tail. They could cut the tail really bad. They could hurt their leg.
Oh, absolutely. So it's a lot harder when they're so large. And I had a Rottweiler mix come in one time that, I really was really just very nervous dog for the nail trim and, almost took the table down. And so that's when it's a little bit harder. And
Very
so
hard.
it's not
A
that we
lot a
don't,
bit harder.
yeah, it's not that we don't love these breeds. And that's where what's our favorite is. So if you bring me, like I have German Shepherds that I adore, and one that I'm thinking of right
Yeah.
now, it's just lovely. That just, and those when they come in, they just hop in the tub, things like that. I have a
They're
Weimar.
very trusting. They bond with you quick.
Yes. And they just listen. So, we walk over and you'll feel sometimes they'll go to resist a little bit and I'll give into that. And then I'll be like, okay, well, we're still going. And then so you never, I don't want a large breed dog. I see videos sometimes people trying to pull them across the shop. I'm not doing that.
No.
Sometimes we'll do a circle around the shop before we get to the tub. And they get over there and they're like, oh man.
And sometimes that's what you need to do. Keep
Mhm.
them on their leash. You're leading them around, and then you lead them right to the grooming table bumps into their chest. And that means get in there. And they
Yes.
typically are going to be like right away and get their legs up because they're like, well, I'm just going to bump into this or I'm going to step on it. And so work with them,
Yeah.
work them through it. Can you think of a breed, Michelle, that you absolutely love, but you don't like to groom? And why is that?
I don't want to say I don't like to groom.
It could be for any reason. It could be that the groom is tiresome because of the type of work you need to do with that breed.
For me, it's just the big, heavy, and I've said this before, it's the big, heavy D-shed.
Yeah.
Those ones are so much work. I mean, so if you're bringing a Great Pyrenees to the grooming shop that hasn't been groomed in a year, and by the way, I got a pair of them. That's like all day. That's
Of
what I mean?
exhaustion.
And that
Yeah.
ties into we probably don't charge what we should sometimes. So if it's gonna take me all day to groom two dogs, it's a 6 hours of nonstop work.
That
Um,
needs to be a full day's worth of pay.
well, that's what I'm saying. And so that's, not to mention you can groom a bunch of dogs that day, smaller dogs, and maybe make about, $500 to $800. But now you just worked really hard, harder than you would have.
More cleanup.
And then you're going to charge $400 if that,
Mm.
right? Some people want it to be of $100. So those are the ones I tend to, and I love these breeds. Like I love Leon Burgers. I
Well,
love
that's the point. You love the breed, but there's aspects of the grooming that that you don't love?
Yeah. How about you?
Husky would be one, but Husky lovers, slow down. Let me tell you, I love the breed. So we're talking about breeds.
Huskies on my list too.
Yeah, breeds we love. Like,
Yes.
would I love to share life with a husky? Yeah, I probably would.
I got one.
And you got one. Ding, ding, ding. But
Yes.
why do I find it that I don't get too enthused when I have to groom them? And that's a husky for one. And I have had extreme great bonds with huskies that are regular clients. I'm
Yes.
never going to say that they were terrible. They fall in line, but I can tell that they don't like it. And that alone
Yeah.
bothers me through the whole groom. They're tolerating the bath. You can tell they don't like it by their body language. They're tolerating the drying. You can tell they don't like it.
Yeah.
I hate it when they show me that they don't like what I'm doing with them. And
Yeah.
so that's one thing. But secondly, with the husky is the constant shaking in the tub. And I understand it. They don't like the feeling of water on their skin or coat.
Right.
Naturally, they don't like it. So they constantly are shaking. You are soaked. Your walls are shampoo and conditioner soaked, and then there's a hair stuck on top of that. And the hair cleanup for a husky
So much work.
is intense. Yeah, it's a
Yesterday,
very
the other day,
satisfying de-shed, though. It's
it
very
is.
satisfying.
The other day we had River and Daisy. I was working on Daisy. I was coloring her, and my husband was giving River a bath. And he shakes. So he was getting Daisy wet while I was coloring her. I
Yeah,
mean, he just shakes. I mean, and it's funny because a lot of people will confuse Huskies with Malamutes,
yeah.
And I find Malamutes are so lovely to groom.
They're
So
more laid back.
they're more laid back.
Yeah,
Huskies are just so intense,
yeah,
And again, I have one. We love Huskies, but they're definitely on my list of ones that we love the breed, but they're a tough groom. I mean, and not
yeah.
tough, like you can't get through it, but just exhausting.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work. And the cleanup, when you're force drying a husky, you've got that undercoat. Every 6 weeks, the dog's coming in and the same amount of undercoat you're getting out every time. It's just a shedding breed. It's undercoat. It's the way it is by design. But that gets stuck on everything in your shop. Not just all over the floor, not in your
Everywhere,
eyeballs. It's in the eye, but it's in your hair. It's everywhere. The undercoat
everywhere.
settles everywhere, and it's a heck of a cleanup. So when I groom a husky, I allow at least 30 minutes after that because of the cleanup. And
Yes.
I need to get paid for that, right? Another one that is a situation where I often love the dog but don't care for the groom is dogs that aren't brought often enough, and then that means there's some matting. And with matting often requires pre-trimming. So that means I have to trim some coat off first, or I'll
Yeah.
never get through the shampoo, condition, and blow dry in enough time. So I have to
Yep.
pre-trim. But what then? After we pre-trim, what do we got to do? We got to vacuum that up. Why? Because we're going to be force drying after the
Yes.
dog gets out of the tub. So I have to pre-trim, vacuum,
Clean.
bathe, condition, brush, dry, trim again,
Yes.
vacuum. It added 45 minutes to the groom at least.
Yeah. And you're going to see a lot of that with your doodle mixed breeds. That's when you
Yes.
typically are going to run into that when they come in and they're overgrown. And now you got to do, and I'll tell people it's because I have to do two haircuts. We have to do a
Yeah.
haircut at the beginning because we got to get these knots out and try to get some of this fur off. We know we got to take a lot of length off today. Now we're going to go ahead and clean that up, get them in the bath, now we're going to start the whole process, especially if you're doing a matted shave down on a poodle breed. Like that's
Yeah.
going to take you 45 minutes to really
Yes.
take time on a large one, get them in the tub. And now we're starting the groom. So now we have a 2-hour groom ahead of us because it's even though you shaved a lot of that fur off, now we have to blow dry them, brush them, get it all even so we can get a nice cut now. So, that's where it takes it's a lot more time. So yeah, no.
That's part of the pre-assessment and grooming. When the dog comes in, if it's got an abundance of coat and matted and it's a very grimy coat, and you're going to be taking it off, or quite frankly, often the client just says, take it off, So,
Yeah.
okay. So by doing the pre-trim first, say if you're going to be doing a 5-blade, shorter trim, you do it with a 5-blade, you bathe, condition, dry, you just cut a half an hour at least out of the bathing and drying process, probably more than that, if I have to be honest. because you pre-trimmed. So it's not just, it's assessing, but it's managing your time and the time the dog has to endure the grooming session.
Right.
So thank your groomer for that, guys. We do that. We make these decisions and we make them from our experience. We're able to make these decisions.
Absolutely. Another one for me that I just love, 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 but sometimes can be not that I don't like dread these grooms because they're easy grooms, but I know sometimes they can be a little crazy is pugs and Frenchies. It's like they don't have a neck sometimes. And if they're really
They
fighting,
wiggle out.
they just they do like alligator roll.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're really good. And then sometimes like you get to their nails and I always imitate
The screaming.
and the screaming and just
Pugs and Frenchies. I had a pug and a Frenchie, and they were both my soulmate dogs. I can't say too much about them, but grooming them was comical.
Well, it's comical. That's why I was like, I don't want to say like I don't like them, but definitely worth noting that they're insane. Like, you know what I mean? And I've had Frenchies that are really
they're
chill.
drama queens.
Yes. You would never imagine this dog would ever try to bite anybody, but when it comes to the nails, we are full blown. We want our teeth to engage the groomer skin 100%. We are all business with these.
I find that too. You're in Texas and I'm in Pennsylvania, and that's pretty much across the board for pugs and for Frenchies. But
it's a no neck that gets me because we have them on like these leads, and you gotta be careful because they'll pull real hard too. They usually come in harnesses, because they're just like this bully breed. And so I don't like to any dog that's gonna pull real hard on my table. We're not doing this.
I'm gonna stress the trachea. Yeah, bronchial breeds especially, even Shih Tzus.
Yeah, so I'm not going to let you do that on my table. It's not allowed.
For sure. Yeah. Because I'm here to protect your safety.
Yeah.
Super groomer. And we are super groomers. We're always looking. I call us heroes, guys. Here's to you, groomers. Right. I seriously do think we're heroes for these dogs. There's some bad actors out there in the grooming world, but I don't know any. So I'm happy for that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Me either.
English Bulldogs have always been a dog. I've had several that I've worked with, and most all of them English, not American Bulldogs. American Bulldogs tend to not like the grooming sessions, at least the ones I have endured. Yeah. But the English Bulldogs acted like it literally is a spa day.
Yeah, I've had good experiences with English Bulldogs too. Because they're always sleeping in my videos. They're so chill.
Yeah. Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
Except for
when they're excited, it really isn't that much. It's like,
and they come in, they're like, "Hey, Amy, how's it going?" They're not like, "I'm so upset."
Yeah. Until they fart though. But then that's how you think
that makes me laugh.
And then they're farting, and then you're like, oh my gosh.
They fart a lot, and it makes me laugh. I'm just like, I think farts are one of the funniest things, whether it's a human or an animal. I think they're just so if somebody farts in a supermarket, I feel bad because I laugh at them. Just, you shit your pants.
Until it's in your mouth.
I can't not laugh at the farts.
I just watched a video yesterday of a guy like having an accident at a shopping mall. Me and Jim were watching this video. I'm like, look at this poor guy. He's trying to clean it up. It happens, right?
Oh, I'm not going to say
anything. You know what? Maybe someday
it could be you.
Have an accident in a grocery store, so I don't want to be mean about it. But
I hear you.
Poor guy, especially as we go there. We're like, well, you never know.
Right. Are there any breeds that you really love? Wish you've had the opportunity to groom, but it's just there aren't any in your area, and you haven't gotten the opportunity.
Oh yeah, what stands out? I just bought an Arendelle Terrier, and I literally almost slammed on my brakes, and it's around in this neighborhood. So I'm gonna.
You're like, can I groom him?
I will. I mark my word. I will pull my car over and be like, hey, here's my card. I want to get my hands on one of those. For sure. There's several that, because you always want to groom which you've never had. And
there's certain breeds that you really, really want a chance to try to pull off that breed standard trim, but just don't get the chance. One for me is a Dandy Denmont Terrier.
Holly Baker has one of those, and she was
jealous, Holly.
I know. She was just posting something yesterday.
She's competed with the Dandy Denmont. I've seen her in the competition ring with the Dandy Denmont.
Yeah.
That's
They were
one.
all like a dandy, like it was all these dandies everywhere. I'm like,
Oh,
what is like that's
they're
like
a
the cutest
happy
thing ever.
breed. They're
Yeah.
they're just a happy breed. They have a unique coat. They have a actual hand strip if you were going to do it right. If it's a proper coat, if it was bred right, you would hand strip a Dandy Dinmont, and then there's scissoring on the head and the legs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I've done plenty of Wheatons, and I ended up really loving the Wheatons. I didn't think I
Yeah.
would. They come in like a wrecking ball. Hey, I'm here.
Oh,
You
they're a
know,
mess.
and then I'm like, oh God, how's this gonna go? We get up on the grooming table, and it's like we establish respect right away. I've had that with Wheatons, so and I
But they're
enjoy that
sweet.
trim. They
I've
are sweet.
experienced sweet ones,
Yeah,
but
me too.
they're hot messes, but they
They
are really
come in like you're like, this
yeah.
ain't gonna be good, but it
Yeah.
is
A Kerry Blue, I'd like to get my hands on one of those.
for
Those are
sure.
ones whenever I'm at the shows and I see people working on them. They got a really cool coat. They're just cool looking dogs.
Oh, yeah, they are. Terriers are impressive to me. It's always been one of my favorite groups of the dogs,
Yeah,
and
terriers are cool.
it's the terriers. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because they're earth dogs. I don't know. I'm an earth kind of girl. I'm not
Yeah.
too earthy, like I like to keep myself unearthy, but I love to be outside in the water
We
and all.
smell amazing for our podcast. We always talk about how we smell nice for our podcast. Like we can't even smell each other, but I have
Oh, you
deodorant.
look like you smell so good.
I showered this morning.
Yeah.
But some of my favorites to groom, and I'm sure it's probably some of yours too, is number one, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. I'm sure
Oh,
that's
they're
one of your
just so
favorites. Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, I don't have a negative thing to say about them. I get excited when I get a phone call. I will take on new calves any day of
Yes.
the week, all the
Wouldn't
time.
even worry about that one. They're
Nope.
going to be excellent.
Goldens, I have a big, and Goldens aren't even necessarily like the easiest groom. They're not
No,
hard,
it's a
but I
lot of
think I like
work.
them. Yes, they're a lot of work, but I do like them so much that
Yeah.
I tend to find that to be enjoyable. I don't dread them in my schedule, even though they're big and they're going to make a mess in my shop.
Hmm.
I've had harder ones than others, right? And sometimes they're big and they're overweight, which we talked about on our last podcast. That's an issue. So overweight
It is.
dogs are harder to work on. And so when you do have an overweight, any breed dog, that makes it harder.
Because
Um,
the dog has trouble standing. The dog, is always shifting his weight because it's hard. His weight is hard on his joints. That's
yes,
why when Michelle says they're harder to groom, that's what she means.
yes.
You're trying to scissor, and the weight's always shifting.
Yeah,
That's
they're
not
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 comfortable.
easy. Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
not comfortable is why they're doing it. Yeah.
And then back to terriers. I am such a Yorkie fan. Like I will
Oh,
take a Yorkie anytime too. I think that they're really fun.
I agree with you. I find that grooming Yorkies is pretty much always a good experience, and it's
Yeah, they're
it's
usually really
rewarding in
fun.
some way. Like they give you little kisses afterwards, like thank
Yeah.
you, thanks for being nice to me. I mean, it's that little gesture that makes our day.
Yeah. They get a
It's
little spicy, I think, when they get older.
yeah, because they're
Those might
petite.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
so
and they live
petite.
to be like 100. So
No, they do. They got a good ticker.
they sure
It's a
do. I
good
mean, so
point.
Yorkie, so I feel like they're sweeter when they're younger and then they get a little older and cranky, but by then they don't usually have any teeth, so they're fine.
Right. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
just like go ahead and gum my hand. It's okay.
Yeah, you just gotta make sure
One
you don't cut
breed.
their tongue that's hanging out of their mouth.
Whoa. Yeah, that's a trick in itself.
Mhm.
Miniature schnauzers have been one breed that I didn't know that I would come to fall in love with the breed so much
Yep.
and grooming them.
They're
You
on my
would think
list
they would
too.
be atrocious on the grooming table. Most
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they're absolute model citizens on the
Yeah.
grooming table, and it just shocks you. I
Yeah, I'm a
grew up
huge
with
fan.
miniature schnauzers, but I never knew what it was like to groom one. So I always had a love for them, but until I was a groomer, I didn't know how much I would enjoy that trim. And it's to this day, it's one of my favorite trims.
Yeah, no, that's on my list. Is miniature
Scotties too.
schnauzers. What else?
Scotties.
Oh, yes. I love
I
Scotty.
really enjoy working. They can be a tough little dog, but I've found
Yeah.
that I have always been able to bond very well with my Scotties, and they're just model citizens to
Yeah.
work with.
They
Because
really
they can be tough.
Oh yeah.
You
They have
know,
strong personalities because they'd almost like they don't really care what you think. They're just
they're
like,
a tough dog, yeah, in
yeah,
a little body.
technically not a breed, but I have schnoodles too that are like my absolute favorites. Like
Oh,
sweet, which I've got two that I'm thinking of right now that I've been grooming forever that come and one's named Sirius, like Sirius Black from Harry Potter, and then
Oh, I love it.
the other one, his name is Leon. Freaking love him so much. His coat isn't even easy to work on. It's not, it's like a curly,
That's
but
so
mixed
funny.
with
Why
like,
do people name schnauzers weird things? I had a schnauzer named Josh.
I love it. I don't want my
Josh.
next dog to be a male, but I want to have a dog that's a male so I can give him a male name. Like,
Oh,
I
but
love these
Josh?
like guy
Hey,
names.
Josh.
Yeah. Come on, Josh.
Yeah. Okay. That's cute.
But yeah, no. So I'm a huge fan of it. And I'll tell you, but I would never own a mini schnauzer.
They
And it's
bark,
not,
squeal, bark.
they scream when they
Yeah.
bark.
Yes.
They're just kind of goofy. They're just got a personality that really doesn't flow with my personality, because I think you have to match your person's personality to your dog's personality for sure.
Well, I didn't know until living with schnauzers, and now my mom and I co-own two schnauzers, and they live with my mom. They are extremely affectionate.
To their owners.
If
Yeah.
they're your dog, they are
Yeah.
extremely affectionate. And
Yes.
you may not know that unless you have a schnauzer,
Right.
right?
Right. So, but I
Like a
have
little
Daisy
secret
too,
that they keep. I'm really a
yeah.
sweetheart.
Yeah, I'm actually really sweet. No, the ones I have, like, I always like joke in my videos too, how they're like looking for their mom because they're so obsessed with like their
Yeah.
moms and their parents. And no, Daisy is like the Shih Tzu is also like a Velcro dog.
Yes.
Like she has to be touching me. Like if I move in the middle of the night, she
She
wakes
moves
up
over to touch.
and moves her body, like where
I
so
believe
she's
that.
physically touching me again, which I don't care. I'm always cold, so it works out. But
Well, too, it's kind of like it's nice to be reminded every moment of the day that something really truly loves you.
yeah, right.
Right? They never let you forget that. And certain times you need to know that.
She would have drove me nuts, like when the kids were little. Like my
Because she would have wanted you to hold her.
yes, my youngest, like the kids used to call her a spider monkey. Like my oldest drew me.
Aw.
I always tell my kids I want just make me cards for my birthday, right? So they'd always like make me
Yeah.
cards for Mother's Day, my birthday. And so one year Tyler drew, it was like me and like this horrible drawing, like it's Lydia like cling to me. He's like, that's Lydia. I was like, oh
That's
my God.
Lydia. She's too close to you all the time. That's a
She's
Shih Tzu.
always been like my clingy one. Where Violet wasn't ever really like that. So like if Violet snuck in bed to snuggle me, I'd be like, yay. You know?
Yeah. What a treat, right?
Yeah. So after the third baby, and I remember like she got to be like 5 and she'd be coming towards me and I'd be like, no, ma'am, like stop. I like put my leg out. I'm like, no, you need to go get in the bath. Like we're not doing this right now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Daisy's been nice for that. But
Shih
back to
Tzus are that way. They just want to be with you. They love you so much. They love their owners. They love their people, and they love kids usually. They're
Yeah.
great dogs.
Yeah. No, she's mad. She's out of the room right now. I
Yeah.
kicked her out. So I'm sure she's just standing out there staring at the door, I'm sure.
Well, the funny thing is, she'll forgive you in less than a second.
She doesn't care. Like, where were you?
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
I
waiting.
forgive you. You're here
days.
now.
Yes.
I think
love it.
it's important for us to say, as professional groomers, that I can't truly tell you guys that there is a breed that I would single out as being a breed that I don't like to groom. I can't, I spoke about English Bulldogs earlier, and I had one that was a rescue from an Amish bred farm. He was awful to work with. And he was the only one I've ever experienced that with. And it was probably due to bad breeding and no socialization as a puppy.
Right.
But so I can't say that I can single out a breed and say I don't like working with them. Some people are nervous to work with pit bulls or chow chows, but then I've also had great experiences with those breeds. So I can't say that. I would never say that.
Yeah. I had one pitty that when I was mobile, he bit me through the muzzle and like indentations on my hand. But that was with the dad in the van. And he really wanted me to try to get this dog's nails. And his nails were so bad.
And he was afraid of his nails trimmed. Obviously, if he's saying, please get his nails, that means they're never trimmed and nobody can do it.
Yeah. And so I was more of an enthusiastic groomer at the time. And so I really, really, and the dad and the people were wonderful. Like, and I just said,
Yeah.
and I said, yes.
But they did put you at risk.
Yeah. So where now I would stop a little bit earlier, but we got his nails trimmed that day and he needed it. And so then we afterwards, I said, well, he might do better because once I said, well, he got me through the muzzle. Like we probably want to start. And this whole experience wasn't great for him, right? So we probably want to
Yeah.
just refer him to the vet and kind of go from there. But
Yeah, where the
yeah,
owner
but
may be able to try to comfort him a little bit
yeah,
during that. Yeah, it can be tough.
they're excitable and can be reactive dogs. And I portray pitties in my videos all the time as sweet, lovable
They
potatoes.
are.
And because I love them and I've really encountered for 99% of them to just be absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
So,
socialization with a powerful breed is
yes,
important. A Rottweiler, a Doberman. These are some of the most amazing pets you could ever have.
German
But
Shepherds, all of
socialization
these
is
big
and
ones. Yeah.
understanding what are they reactive to? Are they reactive to small dogs? You can work them through in pet training classes when they're puppies and get them accustomed to being around other dogs and accepting that.
Yes.
Socialization's key when it comes to behavior on
Yeah.
any breed.
And being a good leader. I'm all about like you have to be a good leader for your animals. They have
Yeah.
to understand that they're pack animals and if you bring them into your family, they need to know where their place is in the pack. And
Yeah.
you need to be a good leader. And some of them don't need that as much. Some of them like Goldens,
They
all
just fall
just
right
like
in.
they
My
just like,
big
okay,
Gus.
like yeah, like us. Like they just don't
Yeah.
care. And that's how Nellie was. And just she just was happy to be part of anything.
Yeah.
But River's not.
Well,
The
they
last
can't
one I
all
worked
be perfect. They just can't.
they can't, exactly. The last one I love it's a breed I didn't really know about until I started grooming. And actually I'm a huge fan of is the Keeshond. And so I don't know if you've had a lot
I
of those.
have had experience with them in regular grooming. They're very sweet
They're so sweet. And
and they're beautiful.
I hope you see a boom of this breed because
I
man,
hear you. Why don't we?
I
A
don't
lot
know.
of
I
people.
tell people like when they talk about chow chows and
Yeah,
sadly chow
go
chows
get a Keeshond.
yeah,
Go
get
get
a
a Chow
Keeshond
Chow.
because like they're a little bit smaller and their temperaments tend to be, really good. Chow chows were bred for something different.
Yeah, and they can be wonderful,
They
but you
can.
have to lead with confidence. Are you that person? Did you raise your
Yeah.
kids that way? If not, don't get a Chow Chow because he's going to lead.
But Keeshonds are like the golden retriever of the two. Like,
Yeah, you're right.
they're so sweet. And
They
so I'm a
carry that tail with pride and it curls up over. But when you're
huge.
grooming them and then you've blown them out and you're brushing them and combing them and putting the finished touches on, they feel. Could you imagine just touching that coat,
Yeah.
while you're watching TV? The coat is so
Yeah.
soft. It is such an amazing coat to touch, but
And
it
it's a lot of
requires a
work.
lot of grooming. So
It's a
don't get a
lot of
Keystone
grooming.
unless you're
Yeah.
gonna have them groomed every 6 weeks. Don't do it.
A lot of grooming. It's a lot of work, but that's one. It's like I don't, even though I know they're going to make a huge mess in my shop, just as much as a husky, but
Yeah.
I tend to get more excited because they are so lovely and cute, and they just have the cutest. I'll never forget when I had one in my shop, and my son came in. He had never seen one before, and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
"What is this dog?" And I'm like, "I know, isn't it cute? It's Keyshawn." He's like, "I need one of these!" Like he was just so
They're
excited
beautiful.
but it was like such a real raw like first response to seeing this
Yeah.
he had never
That
saw before.
happened to me with my husband, who never had a dog in his life until we got together, which was in like 2011. We got together.
Yeah,
Never had a dog in his life. And I, at the time, already had three dogs, and those three have passed. And now we have Gus and Cash, which him and I got together and
yeah,
chose and made our decisions and everything. But what I did have great dogs in the past too, my first dogs, he loved. He got to know them. But he came into my shop one day and I had a Cavalier Spaniel, a King Charles Cavalier
yeah,
Spaniel on my table. And Alex, and he was almost done. And you know how beautiful they do look when they're in full coat and you're just
yes,
running around here in the feet. They do look beautiful and they
oh
feel
yeah.
like silk. And he said, my God, he said, I honestly think that is the most beautiful dog I've ever seen. And I was surprised that he felt that way about a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel, not like a
Oh
Wheatland
yeah,
Terrier. I could see my husband saying, "Oh, it's a dog."
yeah.
But he's all about this. So, and hey, they all have an impression on each one of us, right? What we
Yeah.
all say, "Oh gosh, that's a beautiful dog." Somebody else
Well,
may
same
go,
thing
"No,
with
not for
Cocker
me."
Spaniels. I mean, I love when I go to the show, I will sit and
They're
watch.
amazing.
I love when they're walking and their coats are flowing.
Mm.
I mean, they're just stunning, you know.
And they are
But
a sweet breed.
they are such a sweet breed. But man,
Mm-hmm.
they're a lot of work. You know, those
Mm-hmm.
coats, those are thick. I don't think people
Yeah,
really understand how thick those coats are.
very
If you're
thick coat.
a groomer, it's a lot of work, a
Yep,
lot of
but just
grooming.
have, if you're gonna have one, that's okay. You have to have a regular appointment with your groomer every 6 weeks at least. Most
Yeah,
of my Cocker Spaniel clients like to do 4 or 5 weeks.
yeah, yeah.
Their choice. I'm willing to go 6. I wouldn't push it past that. And they're like, could you do 4? Sure.
Yeah,
Better for the
I would
dog.
say most of my cockers do come every 4, and
They grow fast too,
they
Michelle,
do
you
grow
know.
fast. Yes, sweet breed, really sweet. I mean, I joke
Yeah.
about them pooping on the table and stuff. They do that
Because
sometimes.
they're nervous. They can be a little nervous.
They just
Yeah.
can't
And then you
help
feel so sorry for them because they literally look like,
it.
save
I'm
me, Amy.
sorry.
I trust you, but I can't. I'm so nervous. It's like, oh, I just want to comfort you. I need you to buck up a little. Come on, you can
Mhm.
do this. You can do it. I'd
Yeah.
have to say to end this episode, I would have to say that I don't have a breed that I can say I don't like to groom, but I do have my favorite breeds to groom.
I agree. I agree. Yes, we
I
have
mean,
some.
I do have, I just lied a little. I said I don't have a breed I don't like to groom. It's not because of the breed. It's because of the work involved, like you said earlier. The work
Yeah.
involved. That's the reason.
Yeah. No, just take that's and that was like, when we talk about like the big ones, I'm like, gosh, it's just not only are they big and you have risks of is a dog going to like you? Is a dog going to be fighting you the whole groom? Is a dog going to try to sit down? I mean,
Throwing his weight around. He's a
yeah,
strong dog. Not
yeah,
not in an aggressive way, just throwing his weight around, and you got to counteract that.
yeah. But then on top of that, is this groom going to take forever? So I have
Yeah.
a Weimaraner that I groom every 4 weeks,
Oh,
like
that's the best groom. That's it. That is, they're pleasant to work with.
Yep.
And
She hops in my tub.
yeah.
Yep. And the rest of the time she sits in the chair in my shop and looks out the window and then barks. People walk by. So I have to go close the
Aw.
blinds. I'm like, come on. You don't need to
Yeah.
control the shop.
Do you have any final thoughts, or do you think we need to close the books on this episode?
I just want everyone to know that golden retrievers are the best dogs in the whole world, and that's my ultimate favorite. So
She is biased. She is definitely impressing her opinions on all you, but you couldn't go wrong with a golden.
I laugh when I see people being like, gold, like they have gold, they must have a ton at their shop, and they're just like, the worst. And I was like, you monster.
Yeah, they're not the worst. They're wonderful to work with, but they're a lot of work. That's all.
But we love all your dogs. But yeah, I thought this would be a funny episode just because we can really just talk about how we really feel. I guess, we're people too. Like I know we talk about all different things
Yeah.
but
And there
obviously,
may be so many dogs that we absolutely adore and think would be the perfect dog for us, but then on the grooming side, we already understand the work that's involved with grooming
yeah,
that dog, and then we may say, well, maybe that isn't the perfect breed for me
yeah,
because I understand the grooming work that goes into it.
exactly. And stay tuned, everyone, because I'm gonna track down that Arendelle that's in my neighborhood. I've seen him
Oh,
twice. I'm looking out the
okay.
window now. I'm like, is he out there?
Just remember that there are stalking laws you have to obey. You don't want to get no protective
Different
order
in
slapped on
Texas.
you.
It's fine.
There she is again, peeking around the tree every time my Airedale goes for a walk and a pee. There she is again.
I mean, would you really be
Oh,
scared of this face if I popped around the corner? I'd be like, oh, hi.
listen, you better make a reel or a short with that scenario.
It
You
would be
go and
funny.
meet that owner and say, look, not only do I love your dog, I want to groom it, but can I make a piece of content with it? Can you just walk along and every now and then turn around and give me an eye roll? Because I'm going to be back here peeking around the tree, stalking this dog. I want to groom that dog.
It's different when people know me, but like I have to tell people what I do. I'm like, oh, I like do social media and like I imitate dogs and I groom dogs, and they're like, okay.
Okay, yeah, okay, you're crazy then.
Like,
Yeah.
anyways, I'm like, okay, no. I think I'm funny, but whatever. Maybe you won't. Okay.
You might serve me with a PFA.
I'm doing a funny video today of cats when they move into a new house. So I got a
Oh
whole
boy, that's hard on cats.
so we got a Carl one coming that'll be funny. So
Hey, I respect. I got respect for you, Carl. I understand that is really hard for cats because of their the way they take to their territory and how they, what that means to a cat. And it
Yeah.
really throws them off to say,
Yeah.
you live here now. Some cats are like dogs, though. They're like, I don't care. Okay.
Carl actually has done very well. And so, but I just thought of this funny skit today, just of the things that she's doing. So I'm like, I'm totally going to make a video today. And so since I put my makeup on for our podcast, I was like, well, I might as well make a video. So here we go. So stay
That
tuned.
is so funny that you just reminded me. Carl is a girl.
Carl's a girl.
She's named Carl. Why?
Her name's really Iris. Do you know this story? Okay, so I made a Christmas video like a year ago, and right at the end of the video, I was outside imitating a dog, and Lydia panned over to Iris. And so, and just zoomed in on her. And so, in the skit, I was like, go home, Carl. Nobody likes you. I was being a chihuahua. I was standing outside with a sign that says Christmas is stupid, drinking a beer.
Yeah.
I'm doing dog imitation videos, and then she pans over, gets the cat. So when we edited the video later, we were joking, and I said, oh, I should put Carl, the cat, underneath the cat. And everybody went insane.
They loved it.
Everybody fell in love with Carl the cat. So here it is over a year later. And like yesterday, I posted a video of Daisy at the shop getting colored. The Husky River's there getting a bath. There's nothing about a cat. And like one of the first comments was, Carl would never tolerate that. Like if you go through my videos that have nothing to do with cats, there's always Carl comments in there because everybody loves Carl. So
everybody loves Carl. So Carl has really taken a position here in your in your brand. Carl, gonna have to get some t-shirts.
And she's this 7-year-old spicy tortie that could give a crap. Like she's like, whatever.
She's so cute. That's funny though. Carl is a girl. Carl.
Because torties, and I think it's done well too, because torties are female, notoriously.
The 3 color.
Super rare, yeah.
Can only be a female, from what I understand, yeah.
And so sometimes people are like, is that like a rare male tortie? And I'm like, no.
It's other
people answer, they'll be like, no, it's a female. Her name's actually Iris. But this one time, and like they'll explain the story, so it's really funny.
That's funny. Well, we love you. Keep us laughing, would you?
Trying.
Okay. Thank you for that. And thank you all for showing up and hanging out with us. And we can't wait to see you in the next episode.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Yeah, she's getting fat too because she doesn't go outside anymore.
Hey, I can keep this in. So there's Carl. That's awesome. That wraps up today's episode of Dog Grooming Unleashed. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We are truly grateful to have you as part of our Unleashed community. Don't forget, we drop new episodes every Monday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So grab your coffee or your clippers and hang out with us again, my friend, next week. If today's conversation made you laugh, taught you something new, or just made you feel seen as a groomer or a pet enthusiast, please take a second to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. And we'd love to hear from you. Drop your thoughts, questions, or even your funniest grooming moments in the comments. We might just feature your story or question in the next episode. And we can't wait to keep learning, laughing, and growing right alongside of you. Stay kind, stay curious, and keep grooming from your heart.